Hello, hope everyone's had a really good week. Yes, I've decided to cut my hair, and it's very, very short, maybe a little bit too short. But that's kind of the story every time you go into a barber. You kind of say that you want to, have a little bit of cut around the sides, take a little bit of a layer off the top. They always sort of nod, they're like, yeah, 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 sure, we know exactly what you want to do. But they always give you the same cut, and you always end up walking home thinking, I could let this get to me, or I could just tell everybody that this is exactly what I wanted. So basically, what's happened this week is that it's kind of been an interesting one because it's the first time that well, second vlog obviously today. So it's the first time that I actually took it upon myself to kind of change my routine, kind of change my schedule, and put more effort into sort of aspects of discipline really. So I've started going to the gym. Aim is to go 4 times a week, realistically 3 times. I'm going to the gym before work. I'm aiming to do it Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and then going to work, working very hard. At present, I'm kind of getting involved with, SQL databases and all that stuff, so that kind of techie related stuff. So it's actually very good because it's allowing me to become more analytical and spot problems in code, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be helpful, building a video game. When I sat down and started thinking about a menu screen, first of all I thought, I don't know what the game looks like. I don't really know. I have an idea of what it's going to be, and my sister does as well. Until today, Jake and Lomi didn't really have a really, really good understanding of it. So to actually script and design a menu for a game that only exists in your head didn't really seem like the right way to go about it. So what I concentrated on instead was taking the work that Lomi and Jake had done last weekend, i.e. the grid-based actual game space, and the blue box, which is going to be representing the player. We're going to have 2 players playing simultaneously at any one time, and it'll also be an offline game. But for now, just to get the basic mechanics, doing 1 square movement with just the collectibles like that. But yeah, so I've just tried my best to go ahead and just attack the actual very, very basic version of what the game will look like. So if I just jump over to Unity quickly, I can show you exactly what that means. So right then, as mentioned, we've got the blue square that's going to be representing the player, i.e. the gecko for now. That's sort of, at this moment in time, simple measure. Then you can actually move the square around. What's happening here is the kind of stuff that I was spending the best part of this week looking at after work, and what these brown triangles represent are basically the sort of the default collectibles that are going to be featuring in the game. Again, just sort of like a wireframe and a basic way of playing with the code. But if you so this wasn't an automatic effort, obviously, because I had to sort of watch some videos and try and figure this out. But what I did was that I got a bunch of code from various YouTube videos and everything, and I sort of had a go at looking at creating primitive, very, very basic AI for collectibles and all that sort of stuff. And I had something that I'm a little bit proud of is that, I've heard from various developers and whatnot that you should really go ahead and just mess around with code and just try things and experiment things, and don't be afraid to give things a go and write things here and there, as long as it all makes sense and compiles, and then you press run, various things might happen and whatnot. So what has happened here is that I kind of like the effect that this has, because this is basically running in the update function on in the C# script on Unity. So it's basically updating every frame, and the amount of frames obviously per second is linked to the power of my graphics card, which is, I think, is quite good. But basically, if you look at these triangles, I feel as though they're already so I've showed it to Jake, Lomi and Amy already, and I think they all kind of agree as well. But these kind of already, as soon as Amy builds the assets and builds all the things, these kind of look to me as though they already are kind of moving like flies kind of would along in the space. So again, the AI is very, very basic. It's kind of just there's random functions. Sorry, there's random numbers being generated, and that's been mapped onto rotations and forward movements and whatnot. But I think as we move on, we'll have scope to maybe change the direction, make things move a little bit. What's the word? Because now they're just kind of going in straight lines and everything. So as a player, right? So you can move your square around, and ideally you're going to be grabbing these squares, sorry, these triangles. The black triangle, I think, for now is going to just another go at me basically testing maybe rarer collectible items like maybe golden beetles or whatever, something like that. Just basically flying onto the game space, and in that instance, you might have a chance to basically collect one of these things. That will be sort of almost random, and I'm imagining that as soon as they fly off the game space, maybe there'll be a code to basically destroy them, take them off the grid and take them out of view, and they'll no longer be able to be picked up or whatever. I think so. So just to give you more of an idea about what the game is starting to look like in our heads, Amy has last week found the time to basically draw up an idea of what we think the game will look like. So based on sort of an isometric view, this is kind of what we're thinking the game will start to look like. Again, very, very early on. You've got your two gecko players here who will be competing, moving around the plane. You'll have your golden bug beetles here, and at this point in time you don't see any other flies. They haven't been drawn yet, but they will sort of occupy the space and they'll move around just like you saw just then. It's just another little close-up of what the gecko art might start to look like. I have a feeling that next week Eva is going to look at sort of embellishing and improving on the detail a little bit and just giving this another a look over and maybe just adding more things to it. But at this point in time, this is kind of what we're imagining it's going to look like. And obviously, another thing that we would like to have eventually is some sort of procedurally generated backgrounds as well. So not every single background or playing field will be exactly the same every time you play. It'll be affected by sort of environmental effects, maybe, depending on the season that you play in. Maybe you'll have effects to the actual game space themselves. Maybe a gecko might slip down 2 spaces if you're going down instead of 1 because it's raining for whichever reason, or maybe it's really hot and it causes cracks to appear so you can't move around them, that sort of thing. That's something exciting that we'd like to look into. Obviously in the background as well, we are thinking of having sort of predators, so you can see a snake here coming around. It might give you an instance, if you're really good at the game, I guess, and you've got an element of strategy, you might be able to see where this predator might decide to strike before you actually move towards it. Same with the spider. I think attached to that is the concept that we might start looking at having sort of boss battles where you will actually have to cooperate with your opponent to actually survive the round or phase, as it were. So again, very, very early on concept, but this is probably the first official piece of concept artwork for the game. So then, before I wrap up this week's vlog, I have to say that the next vlog and blog most likely won't be released until Monday. Reason being is that I'm going to be in Poland, in Kraków, with some work pals for a stag do for one of our colleagues, and I'll be back on. I think my plane lands back at Gatwick at like 11:30 p.m. on Sunday night. So I'm realistically most likely not going to have it out by then. By Sunday night, sorry. I think the better thing would be to concentrate more on the game stuff and then maybe give you an update on Monday, because I could release a vlog on Thursday night, but I think it's better to do that on Monday and concentrate on the game and then go off for 3 days or 4 days or so. Yes, so that being said, last thing to say really is thank you very much for watching this week's vlog, and I'll be putting up my blog with the link in the description. Please give that a read. And yeah, thanks very much for supporting us just by watching this video and obviously by reading the blog. You know, it means a lot, and I have to say that the reception I got in terms of the amount of views and the amount of subscribers, I'm very happy with I got 100 and something views for putting up that vlog last week, so that was super motivational and really, really nice of you guys to do that, so thanks for the support in that respect. Yeah, so I will try my best to get out the next vlog as soon as possible, and once again, if you've got any points of interest or any comments or reviews or bits of advice to leave me, please do so in the comment section, leave me a like, and yeah, so just support me in that way, and then super grateful for all of that. So thanks once again, have a lovely week, and chat soon.